No?
It's,
okay.
Okay, we'll stop cussing.
it's Jose. Jose's playing Sam. Jim is playing Erwin.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason is Triple B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I thought Jose was Cole.
Yeah, he
Samuel
goes
Cole.
by
Samuel Cole. Yeah.
Nice.
Samuel Cole Thornton.
Nobody calls him Sam.
Thornton.
Oh, yeah. Yes, she does.
All right.
She hasn't warmed up to him yet, but Sammy's coming. Get your head around it.
All right. So we're all.
That's right. And then Gretchen is
Antoine.
Antoine.
okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'm sorry, Eloy, what's your...
Quentin.
Quentin.
Yep.
Okay.
And what's Irwin's last name?
Jackson.
Irwin Jackson.
Oh, here's he just reacted.
Hmm.
He just reacted, but yeah. So there's little bastard.
Oh, I just recorded that.
Uh-oh.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, but tell me, did we record? Just please tell me somebody recorded the whole thing where we made fun of him for about the background.
No, we
No.
Oh, God damn it! God damn it! That would have been the best outtake video privately shared ever. That was horrific.
That's right. We could try to redo it, but it wouldn't be near as good.
Yeah, no.
It's gonna lose spontaneity.
It'll be something that lives in infamy. Let's see. Well, anyhow,
That's right.
I think he's invited to this call though, right? You can jump right in. Is that the?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Okay, it's all right. Yeah, I don't know how this damn thing works.
Hey, what's Quentin's last name again, Eloy?
Quentin P. Delaney.
Delaney. Too many Irishmen in this party.
I know.
Thornton, Delaney, what the hell?
And what is Gretchen?
Yeah, what's Gretchen's last name? Does Gretchen
Sounded-
have a last name?
Yeah, she did. Sounded Deutsch to me.
Ah.
Gretchen. No, it just says Gretchen. Motivation. Escape.
Yeah, that's because she hasn't had the name change after the divorce yet, so she didn't want to. She didn't want to share that.
Marlies.
And flaws condescending. I think all of his characters have that flaw.
Oh,
It's
my
funny how a little of our personality always bleeds into our characters, does it
It
not?
sure does, yeah. Yeah, and I think my character should have like flaw asshole, you know. You know. What are you gonna do? Or like wise ass, I think is probably a better one. But
Yeah. That would actually be a good flaw, to be honest, because
It
you
would
say
be.
something, to the villain at exactly the wrong time, right?
Exactly.
Or to somebody you're trying to get something from. It's like, we need
Right.
information from this guy.
Right.
And then you're
Hey,
gonna say,
you know,
yeah.
Wise guy.
you
Wise
know you
guy.
got a face not even a mother could love. Plus one style. There you go.
yeah, remind me of your flaws again. Eddie's
Quentin
impulsive.
Yep.
Quentin says curiosity.
Yeah.
Pacifist. I can't believe that.
Yep.
Erwin's a
Erwin is
pacifist. Okay.
Cold
And
stubborn.
Cole is stubborn. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I remember. Yeah, curious, stubborn, impulsive, a pacifist, and condescending. That just sounds like a freaking match made in heaven. Right there. Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna start up the scenario, and we'll see whether he shows up and what goes on here. Because it seemed like he just laughed at us.
Huh?
That was it. So, you guys, where we left off, you guys were
There he goes,
cornered by
hi.
the Germans at a rather inopportune time, if you recall, where you just found out the book that Larry had left behind, the writings of what seemed like the writings of a madman, to Quentin, as he spent hours trying to pore over this thing and to make any kind of sense over this. But there were several, references to, hey,
Nice.
All right.
hi.
Oh,
Hey.
I'll just get up to speed. Don't
We're just starting.
We're just starting.
Quentin found the journal
Right.
that made references to. I forgot what it made references to.
So the
Quentin,
research.
new flaw for Quentin. No freaking memory. All right, let's go on.
Oh dear Lord!
There we go. There we go.
You have no idea how funny that is.
Yeah.
That is style.
You
right
really
there.
don't.
That is.
Yeah,
That's
that is-
funny for all those
That's a
reasons.
style point. Yeah, I agree.
All right, I tell you what, Gretchen.
Oh,
Gretchen
look,
starts.
you ran Jose right out.
Yeah. Gretchen starts with 4 style.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Gretchen starts with 4 style.
Oh.
What I want to know where Jason Swig's at.
Yeah.
I was gonna, I had one in my Amazon basket. I said to my wife, "Is it crazy for me to buy this just to make a joke?" And she said, "I don't know."
Okay. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right, let's try
Mine
this
was a
again.
Bob though. It was a little 36, 1936 Bob.
Nice.
That's good.
I'm afraid I would have nightmares if I saw myself in a video like that.
I'm having nightmares right now. I'm freaking awake. Okay.
All right. Journal.
Let's
Listen,
try
buddy,
this
I
again.
haven't been to a salon since I filed for divorce. I've got bigger and better things on my mind.
Here we go. We ready?
Who are you calling, buddy?
I'm sorry, that was Betty, but
Oh, Betty. Oh, excuse me.
So we're going to start off with Betty and Quentin and Samuel Cole. As we left them last time, they were in the cave complex, so to speak, of the natives on top of the plateau. They discovered these statues of Yutani and of Larry. They had realized that in some way these natives were actually kind of almost revered and worshipped them. But from what these natives said, they left about a year ago, and they left in some kind of airplane. And it took a guy a while to explain to you exactly how they left, because he really didn't have a word for that. And these people are talking like broken Spanish. They kind of know some, and you're not really sure where they learned it from. But you find the journal that Larry left behind, and it contained, it was like the ravings of a madman. It was like a leather-bound journal. It has maps and diagrams that really don't make any sense. Lots of references to secret tunnels or cave-ins or Atlantis or Hyperborea, and just on and on, just ravings and ravings. In part near the end, that's really honest to God. Go read your hex book. It's in there. Read your hex book there, Hyperborea. Not to be confused with Hyperborea. But anyhow, ravings of advertisement right there, product placement. So it's and near the end, he talks about the fact that Yutani believes perhaps Antarctica, question mark.
Mm-hmm.
At about this time, and it takes Quentin some time to actually pour through this book, for about 4 or 5 hours to really get the make heads or tails of it, because it really is just kind of, you're not really sure whether to hold it upright or not. As Betty is kind of crying about Larry and what could have happened to him, why would he have just not even looked for me? Although the statue of Larry did look a little crazed, while the statue of Yutani looked rather serene. But once the people found out you were esposa de Larry, they were quite, they almost revered you as another god. It was only your tears and your sadness that perhaps prevented you from taking advantage of that fact. But apparently you were so engrossed with this investigation that you failed to notice the Nazis that had entered the compound. When last you left them, there were quite a few Nazis that were in trouble with the what you believe might be velociraptors at that site. So you finally you end up getting captured. You're not sure how long these people were actually watching you as you were discussing things, but you get captured by a small group of Nazis. Actually, it appears they've lost several men to perhaps the creatures that inhabit the jungle in this area. Who finally ends up getting captured is Cole, Quentin, Triple B, Maxwell Stafford, who was your liaison
Mhm.
from
Wayland.
Mr. Wayland. Dr. Potts, the rather cantankerous and condescending professor, who actually knew something about biology, like a lot about biology, not more than Quentin does.
Yeah.
And only 3 of the men. It appears that many of the men just ran rather than actually running into the cave itself. When the pterosaur and everything else was around, so not as many followed you, but I think you only started out with about 10 people. At least 2 of them were carried off by the pterosaur. But yeah, however, Cole did manage to save one from being eaten by having him fall to his death instead. I remember that was a spectacular scene. But you were marched off unceremoniously to their zeppelin, which they managed to moor kind of tenuously to this mesa itself. So they actually end up having to have everybody go up on rope ladders. It is no mean feat to actually moor a zeppelin onto a mesa. They actually ended up tying it to several trees, so it doesn't look. So that's one of the more harrowing moments of your life as you end up going up this rope ladder at gunpoint into a zeppelin. It's actually fairly spacious inside the gondola, but it's obviously not quite meant for as many people as are on it. But Hans Gruber takes the journal from Quentin and is quite excited about it, pouring all over it. Stafford remains for the entire trip just completely closed mouthed, rather ticked off. They put you in bonds. You do have your hands tied. You always have a guard on you, and they begin to fly south. You know it's south because it starts to get a little bit colder.
Plus, he mentioned something about Antarctica when he said the one-liner, that we were captured.
Right, and he's aware of that. And he says, we must, apparently Antarctica is where we must go. And you recall that the natives themselves were talking about one of the reasons they kind of revered Yutani was he had some sort of what they kept calling like an object of power, and the Yutani himself was quite interested in those. You recall that like Stafford became very interested in that line of discussion as well. So you start to recognize the Germans after all by the names. There's Hans Gruber. His right hand man is this little guy named Karl Vesky, and he's kind of just when he looks at you with one of these like beady eyed glares, as if he's wondering how he could cause you the most pain. Just the kind of guy that gives you the creeps. Anybody with an empathy score of at least 1 just immediately gets that vibe from this guy that he is just icky. There's Klaus. There's Fritz, your old pal. Smoke cigarettes even in the gondola.
Fritz is a chain smoker.
Yeah, Fritz is a chain smoker. And Dr. Theo.
Dr. who?
Dr. Theo. Theo. Theo.
So the gondola is like one room. It's like it's all open, right? Everybody's in the same compartment all the time.
Yeah, okay. It's a fairly big one. I mean, like there are like partitions that are like curtains, but other than that, physically in terms of like what the actual walls are, it's one room. It's fairly large. There's a control area for the Zeppelin. There's a couple guys that take turns flying it, and then there's always an armed guard on you. There's an excuse for a latrine, behind a curtain. The accommodations kind of suck. There's canned food. It's not a lot of fun. But you begin flying south. And
I had in my notes that they made some references also to Prometheans.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So at some point, I'll wait until. Everybody's in the same cabin. They're going to hear me anyway. So I will look at Vesky, and I will say, are those Prometheans in Antarctica?
That's a most interesting question. My good man, it is not something that we know, but it's something that we must find out. With the help of perhaps of the good Fraulein, Miss Betty. And he goes over and just like grabbing like a little bit of Betty's hair and yes, it's quite nice. It's American
Get off me.
women.
Oh, that's disgusting. Plus, I'm also all of a sudden I'm reminded about Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Call me Betty.
Let's say.
She'll squirm away every time he reaches for her. She's not saying much though, but she's remembering. She's remembering.
Oh, you are a feisty one. Your spirit must be broken. Yes, that will be most enjoyable.
Hey, back off, Fritz.
Did that?
Oh, no, that is Fritz with the cigarette. It's a common mistake. I understand that. Names are foreign to you.
All Germans look alike. Excuse me, all Nazis look alike.
I'll ask, but where in Antarctica? It makes references to Hyperborea, but how do you know exactly where we're going? It's a big continent, isn't it?
We do not know exactly. The reference in the book to the lost city is of great interest to Gruber and to Dr. Teo. And at that point, you can hear Gruber like, Carl, shut up!
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Carl, shut up. Shut up and go sit down.
And one more time, like Carl just leans right into Triple V. It's like, oh yes, it will be very enjoyable, breaking our spirit, like
my husband is gonna kick your butt.
Oh, I hope he tries. And you just the smell of just like of knockwurst, apparently on his breath, 3-day-old knockwurst, just
sauerkraut.
Just horrific.
Hey, whenever he has a chance, Cole will be working on trying to loosen the ropes. I'm trying to figure out if there's a good skill for that.
That's a really interesting question.
And Betty will lean over and whisper to Quentin, was there anything in that journal about where Larry went? Are they headed in the same place Larry was going?
We believe so, Mrs. B. Apparently, him and this Yutani fellow, they took an airplane down to Antarctica. Some very strange stuff in that journal. And now that man is talking about a lost city. Wow.
And my advice is we kick back, get some sleep, and let him deliver us to Larry.
Yeah, it's a good plan. I just wanted to figure out where we're going to go. Because at some point, you're going to have to give these Nazis the slip.
Wasn't it a year ago that they went this way?
Did they mention that? I know they left, but I don't remember how long ago. I think the natives.
Yeah, I think the little native told us it was over a year. I thought he had said that. Mind that. I thought he had.
Yeah, he did.
All right, I am not 100% sure, but I tell you what, like with athletics and acrobatics, I'm gonna give Cole a chance to it would be an extended type task.
Yeah.
But you can go ahead and roll, like I would say you can have synergy with athletics and acrobatics. So you can roll 8 dice. But I can tell you right now, it's a hard difficulty. It's like it's like 5 successes. It's
okay.
And that's to get them slightly loose.
Right. He just needs something to do. Yeah. So that's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4.
Okay. They appear to be pretty tight,
Yeah.
But you can continue to struggle at them all you want. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
the trip itself, is about 2 or 3 days, and during this time you also realize that while Mr. Stafford is completely just stone faced, will not answer anything, just look straight ahead. It's terribly uncooperative, even to the point of being roughed up a little bit. Dr. Potts, on the other hand, is singing like a canary, and has become more and more friendly with the Nazis.
Like Beverly Sills.
To the point where Potts and Dr. Theo are having long conversations, and you get the feeling that perhaps when you get to wherever you're going, Dr. Potts might be working for the other side. He just seems to be, the sort of fellow that's happy to not die.
I'll also want to keep an eye out on where they put our stuff. I'm assuming they emptied our pockets and took our packs and weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah,
at least our personal items.
Yeah, all your stuff is like in like a footlock.
I will, and Betty will have spent the 3 days watching who the pilot is and which one's pilot of the Nazis that are.
Yeah, Klaus and Fritz actually take turns actually flying the machine.
Okay, good.
Everybody wants, every once in a while, somebody will end up checking the controls or whatnot, but it seems like those two know what they're doing.
Okay.
And Cole will also be, keep trying to keep an eye on where they keep their weapons, because you never know.
Right. Yeah, all the Nazis have sidearms. There are machine guns as well, but they seem to be keeping them up in like the forward area, near the actual controls of the ship. So in the spot that you're furthest from, except during the time.
That the passage of a zeppelin is somewhat notable to the natives and the people, the cowboys that live below it. Is that accurate at all?
One would think so.
Hmm.
Man, that's sparkling. One would think so.
The bearded lady.
After a few days, you start to see lights. It's nighttime. You realize the zeppelin is getting lower, and you realize you're heading towards a city. As you get closer, you realize the city is on a river, but also right on the ocean itself. And finally, the zeppelin ends up mooring on a building, and you have landed. At this time.
Stupid question. Which side is the ocean on? Because that might help us figure out if this is. Did we cross the mountains? Did we see crossing mountains?
Well, let's see. Who has a good any kind of geology or
geography?
I got navigation.
The question you got to ask yourself is it an estuary? I think.
Well, I could tell you, Quentin himself, as
Quentin is not. No, not really.
asking where the hell are we?
That's probably a good idea. Is this? I'll ask Carl. Is this Chile or Argentina?
Well, before Carl can even answer, both Cole and Betty look up, and they know it's the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay. Cool.
So all three of them, if I may, say Argentina in the same breath, as if like,
yeah.
like what color is the sky? And everybody says blue. You idiot.
Right. Blue.
And he says, "Oh."
Yes, we have come to beautiful Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
So at this point, you're the ladder is being a much nicer ladder is being lowered down, and you're being met by several more men in Nazi uniform, and being escorted off of the zeppelin.
To climb down, we unbound.
Your hands are still bound.
Okay.
They've actually have like more of a staircase. They're actually like you're on the building itself, so they've kind of rolled something up that's a little bit more passable than like a rope ladder going up the side of a mesa. a little bit nicer, as if this was meant for passengers to disembark in a more civil manner.
Okay.
So, are we inside of a building, or are we like on an open field? Type
You're a rooftop right now.
oh, rooftop. Rooftop. Is it day or night?
It is nighttime.
Okay.
Hmm.
And there, you said there's more Nazi guards coming.
There are
at
more
us.
Nazis. Yeah.
Well, fellas, I don't think we're getting out of this anytime soon.
Oh, of course you're not. I mean, and Gruber like wheels around. Of course you're not. You are going to help us. We wish to see where your Larry has gone.
Oh, untie me. I'll gladly help you find Larry.
Oh,
You don't
we
need
will
to
untie you
restrain
in
me.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Any,
I will convince Larry to help you when we find him. But if you don't, well then.
he looks at you. Well then, Fraulein. Unless anybody wants to declare some action, they do march you down the stairs of the building, and you end up getting placed in a car, and you end up taking a ride through what it seems to be a very pleasant city.
Is
Very
Hans? Are all the Nazis that came with us in the car, or?
You have Fritz, you have Klaus, and you have Hans.
Okay, so
Dr.
Carl is
Theo,
not here.
Dr. Theo and Carl and Potts and Stafford seem to be in a different car at this point.
But the other car is also following along.
Yeah.
And do I
No.
know who has the journal?
You believe
Yeah.
that Hans Gruber has it.
Okay, so Hans himself has the journal. That's awesome.
So who's driving this car? Fritz?
Yeah, Fritz is driving.
Now I imagine that Tamura Zeppelin at night you gotta shine a few lights on it. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I imagine as much. All right.
Well, at this point, that's probably an excellent segue as these fellows are being driven to God knows where to introduce our other two characters. So, who's this elegant young lady with the sparkling hair?
If only I was still young. My name is Gretchen Wilson, and I've been very fortunate in both love and in losing it. And thank goodness. The people of a future age might call me who Ayn Rand wished she was.
Oh, wow.
But you only make something for yourself by looking out for yourself. That's what I learned from my husband, or ex-husband, if you'll take my meaning.
That's fantastic. And what are you doing in Buenos Aires?
I'm trying to start an airline. These seaplanes, they're making it possible to make a bit of money off of anybody who wants to take a little bit less time than all year to get across the world. And the Rio Plate here is it's got a lot of choice cities which need service. Of course, also the Argentine government is less receptive to my husband's lawyers trying to repossess the plane.
And what about our companion with the incredible sports setup?
One Mr. Dr. Irwin Jackson, geologist by trade, and the first choice of Mr. Whalen as far as prospect, and now you have Mr. Was it Potts? Crockpot? I can't.
Caractacus spots.
Yes, that the second-rate version of myself. The history of a little bit of zoology in my past. Been about the world here and there, and all around, just looking for peace and truth.
Ah, fantastic. So, for whatever reason, the two of you are hanging out this evening on the 9th of July Avenue, which is a giant piece of architecture in the middle of Buenos Aires. You know, just huge street.
Now, I imagine that I'm actually
And-
quite taken with the doctor, at least until I see that he's deluded by fanciful notions of that there's some fundamental truth beyond oneself. But I may have been interested in having a drink with him after a long flight, and as a matter of fact.
Yeah, an outdoor cafe sounds about right for you to really see this magnificent Nazi Zeppelin land and more in Buenos Aires, and you're able to see them escort some people off the Zeppelin. Perhaps it took your interest.
Good madam. That's
And you're able to. Oh, go ahead, please.
Okay. Good madam. That appears to be something a little out of character for these parts at this hour. What say you?
I say that hydrogen airships are a bad investment, and their bombastic trappings of small men like the Fuhrer. And anybody who wants to make any money off of aircraft should know better. As for what they're up to with it, it seems like it's not anything upstanding.
Rarely ever is with the Nazis.
So as you're having this politically charged conversation, you know, loaded with the more important area like economics, the good doctor actually notices that the people that were being escorted off the ship eventually appear outside at the bottom of the building, and you recognize Dr. Potts.
Ooh.
Do you know these people, Doctor?
Well, I do. I don't know them all personally, but that does appear to be one Mr. Dr. Potts, the gentleman that Mr. Wayland, an investor down in these parts, hired after I turned him down.
All right. And you do also recognize Mr. Stafford, who attempted to hire you. You're not quite sure, I don't believe, you know, who this young reporter and this really pissed off looking tall guy are. But you do recognize one of the most famous guides in all the Amazon, was Triple B. But none of them look happy. And let's see, what's your perception like there, Doctor?
7.
You have a perception of 7?
I do.
Okay, well in that case, no need to roll dice. You recognize that these people are bound. Dr. Potts is not. But some of these other people, they appear to have their hands tied in front of them, and they're all escorted into cars, and the cars begin to drive away.
Well, now that's rather concerning. To see all that group except Mr. Potts bound. I do believe nefarious activity is what seems to be afoot here. What say you we investigate?
Well, this talk of Mr. Wayland has piqued my interest, and it's not as if I wouldn't mind shooting myself a couple Nazis. They, after all, have abused a few of the Jewish friends that I have made during my tenure as my husband's wife. So I consider my services rendered. I may levy a fee on your Mr. Wayland.
By all means.
So, seeing as somebody sunk all their money into an airplane, who has money for a cab?
Ouch.
Well, not all their money.
All.
But, you know, considering that Gretchen owns an airplane, she certainly doesn't own a car. But does she have money for a cab? Of course she does.
Yeah, well, I mean, if a taxi is how these Argentines find their way around, then that seems fitting enough. I'm afraid this is not my area of expertise, Doctor, when it comes to following people in cabs. That's, of course, how I ended up getting a divorce. I didn't keep close enough tabs on my husband.
Indeed. I think I can handle that, and if you'll just be so kind as to enter the cab.
Of course. And even as she's ducking in, she's kind of checking her pistol and kind of just making sure the magazine is in order and so on. And it becomes preoccupied with that.
So the doctor looks over and sees her playing with the weapon and just cannot, just a shudder of disappointment, and then taps the cabbie on the shoulder and asks him to follow the vehicles that just left the Zeppelin.
Follow that car.
All right. So the cabbie is able to keep up with the Nazis after a while. It requires more money because following Nazis is a little more dangerous than following your average person. But,
I'm sorry, Doctor. Was Zora Neale more the type you were looking for?
But the cars actually end up leaving Buenos Aires entirely, going outside the main city. Going out, you start to drive past almost like little shanty towns that are around there, and it's kind of this stark contrast between like the incredible wealth and beautiful architecture of the city proper, and then outside the city, you start to you run across the more poor and destitute.
So I'll ask Mr. Gruber, where are we going? And I'm looking for any sharp edges or something where I can start, maybe like fraying the ropes, if there are any sharp edges on the back of the car.
Oh yeah, sure. You can find something to start.
Betty kind of elbows Quentin and Fritz, could you light us a cigarette? Give me a cigarette, please.
And Fritz looks back. Of course. Why not, Fräulein? And hands you a cigarette.
She reaches up and seductively takes it with her mouth out of his hand.
Nice.
And puffs on it, and then kind of winks at Quentin and wiggles the cigarette.
Nice.
And Cole, what are you up to?
Still trying to loosen or cut or get rid of those ropes there.
Yeah, give me another roll for that. Just going with your strength and your
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
8. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
so you're
sir.
starting to get them loose.
All right.
That's a pretty amazing success right there.
Yeah. He's he just looks pissed and it's working. He's like glaring daggers at the Nazis.
Betty will pull the cigarette from her mouth and reach over to give it to Quentin, so he can use it.
Right. So you continue to drive out in the outskirts.
You deal in death sticks.
In the meantime, Hans, we are going to our camp, where we will talk to my colleagues.
Camp. But there's a lot of Nazis in there. He's like with a finger. Camp. So I look at them like, look, we're gonna get out of here. And I'm gonna start trying to burn the rope, see if I can get myself loose too.
Mm-hmm. So you try to start burning the rope with a cigarette?
Yeah.
Will the Nazi notice the smell of burning hemp?
Uh-oh.
I knew I should have had my dice for something. Well, let's see. Will the Nazis actually notice the smell of burning hemp? Let's find out.
Depends on how much hash.
Oh, good God!
If he
thing
rolls
here is
all
that-
successes, does he just yell Nazi?
I just 4 successes.
Uh-oh.
Now this is distinguishing between the smell of a cigarette and a spliff here. Which is,
Right. Yeah. Well, apparently, where the hell is it? Apparently, he did really successes. I just,
Yeah.
So it's at some point as you're doing this, you hear, like Fritz goes, "What is that? What is that? That is not cigarette."
What's that?
Oh, what are you
Oh,
doing? What
I
the
dropped
fuck is
I
that?
dropped the cigarette into the floor. Quentin picked it up. I just dropped
You're
it.
trying to con the Nazi?
Yeah.
Alrighty, excellent.
And I'm gonna take a whole hell of a lot of dice. I'm going for the whole Hail Mary here.
You're
Oh,
going for the
wow.
chance dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. This is awesome. Let's see. Betty has no con skill really to speak of. So let's see. That's a negative 2 to begin with. She needs 2 successes, so she's rolling 0 dice. I'll tell you what. You can roll 10 dice, but you need 7 successes. You can roll all the chance dice, because every 2 chance dice you roll,
So should
increases
we
the
make
difficulty by 1.
should we make this a theme and have Cole look at the guy and say, "Now don't you go calling the little lady a liar"? And give him a couple of dice with intimidation.
This case, nobody really cares what Cole thinks right now.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
All right. I need 7.
You need 7.
Jeez.
1, 2,
One. Oh.
3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6.
Oh,
Shoot.
so
Dang it.
close.
Dang it. I got 6.
She's like, but you drop it. No, it's not. You are trying to something. You're trying to burn some ropes. Ah.
Try and burst the ropes, see if they break.
Oh, okay. Let's
Yes.
see. Give me a strength roll, strength check. Roll double your strength.
Double your strength.
Double my strength. Sure.
Double your strength there. You're looking for
yeah.
you're looking for 3 successes, so it's gonna be hard.
Oh, it's gonna be hard.
You've been cutting them. You're burning it a little bit. Will he use style?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. There's Hans, and there's how many guards again?
There's Hans. There's Fritz is driving, and there's Klaus is also in the car. There's 3.
Oh, so there's
There's
3
three Nazis,
Nazis,
there's
and
3 of you.
3 of us.
So,
So-
Klaus is sitting on the hump.
Yeah.
So and Klaus is the one turning around, right? Because he's the one looking, isn't he?
Yeah, Klaus is looking. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to kick the seat to like push him back and try and snap my ropes. See if that
Sure.
counts as a style point. So let's.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, if you want to roll a style point, go ahead. I mean, you can use as many style points as you want to. You need 3 successes. You're rolling 4 dice right now.
Yeah, let's use 2. I can roll 6 dice to 3 successes. Here we go.
Okay.
And that is 2 successes. Not good enough.
Okay. So you kick the seat. You go, ha ha!
Oh wait.
And-
If I take the style points, can I take the average, or does it work that way?
Normally, I would say yes for this particular moment
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it was so clutch. No.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Let's go.
So at this point, you have in fact startled them though because you've done that.
Startled me, too.
The ropes have kind of like ground a little bit. You definitely broke them a little bit more, but you're staying there like triumphantly with your hands still tied together.
And he's like, and then looks down at the. Uh-oh.
And Claude, listen, what is this? Anybody else doing anything at this particular moment?
Well, sure. Might as well try and break free again. Try and power out of them.
Oh, go ahead. Give me a strength roll. It says
Alright.
double your strength.
Yeah.
Let's say you've loosened them a good amount.
3.
Oh yes,
No.
you have just burst your bonds.
Alrighty then. Time to mambo.
Time to milonga. I don't know what milonga is.
I believe we call this initiative.
Yes, sir.
And Betty, you can roll initiative too. I mean, you know,
Yep.
you can roll initiative, bound or not. You're
Yep.
something.
I've got feet, and you can guarantee I know how to use them. Here we go. Initiative.
All right.
I got
All right. I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Damn.
Where's Cole? Cole's on 2, and Nazis are actually on 1. So Quentin is first. I'm gonna roll. You can do brawl, but you can do brawl at -2 because you're bound. You know, if you try to kick, you're in a car too, so it's probably gonna be a -2 dice no matter. It's gonna be a little tough.
so it's -2 if I try to hit them or something. You know what?
Paul, on the other hand, you know,
I'm gonna
with
try
his
to hit
hands
him
free,
anyway.
he can do whatever.
I'm gonna try to hit him anyway. I mean, I'll just might as well just like,
Give him the
and
Kirk.
then, like,
Okay. So you're giving him the Kirk with a brawl.
yeah. So it's brawl at -2. So I'm
Yeah,
rolling
brawl -2.
2 dice actually,
That's correct. Yep.
and that is 1 success.
Okay. So you go, and the Nazi kind of, Klaus kind of like leans out of the way. Betty, what are you up to?
Betty will. Let's see here. I will. I think where
Here's
I'm
the thing,
going.
Betty.
Yep.
Betty's with -2
Mhm.
because you're Betty's rolling 0 dice unless she uses some style or something else.
She is.
Getting warm there, huh, son?
She is. She is going to.
No more back rubs.
She is going to actually try the door. Try to open the door
Okay.
or break out the window with her feet or elbow or something.
Oh, you're gonna break out the window? Yeah, go ahead. Give me a brawl attack on the window, but this one you don't have to take a -2.
Okay. Brawl attack. 2.
Oh, you just shattered the window with your feet.
Okay. So I'll spin around. She's small and just kick the window out. Okay.
Startles the hell out of the Nazis. And Cole, what are you up to?
All right. So just to refresh, who's the guy sitting between us? These.
The guy sitting between you is actually Hans Gruber himself.
So we got Hans in the back, Klaus driving, and Fritz and the
Well, Fritz
shotgun.
is driving.
Fritz is driving and Klaus shotgun.
Yeah, right.
All right. So basically, what he basically does is he like grabs. He's gonna try to grab Hans and start smashing hooks into his face.
Okay,
A
excellent.
brawling attack.
Nice.
That should get their attention. For regular punching, right?
Yeah, regular punching.
Which I have a +1. Alrighty then, that's 4 successes.
Oh, right. So okay, he takes one non-lethal. So you do sock him in the head. You connect, and you feel this satisfying
Yeah.
thunk of Nazi jawbone.
Alrighty.
In the meantime, will Fritz maintain control of the vehicle at this particular moment? Let's find out. No, let's see. How many successes does he need? Oh, well, okay. Gretchen and Erwin.
Sorry, my
You
wife.
see- Yeah, you see one of the vehicles in front of you. In fact, it's to you. Begin to swirl out of control as you see one of the windows, just blow out.
Yeah, and this is the thing: is that like since getting her gun in order, Gretchen has actually been very keenly like looking out the window, and in fact maybe leaning out, because it's not so much the Nazis' attitude towards Jewish folks that offend her so much as it is the whole breeding stock cockamamie that really gets under her skin, and so she'd like to shoot herself a few Nazis if she can find herself the justification. So she's had her eyes on this. So the car's swerving. Go on.
Yeah, you see the car swerving. It's kind of like going broadside to you. The taxi driver is screaming, "Senorita, get back in, senorita!"
The
he's
whole
slamming.
time, Erwin is looking out
slamming
the
on the
other
brakes.
side, while looking at the stars.
So I see a woman trying to get out of the
Well, you see a
Nazi-filled
feet.
card.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I can I tell it's I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But it's more motivating and yeah, it's more motivating if it is a woman in this context.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell it is a woman. The legs while strong and capable enough to kick out a window appear somewhat feminine, although capable.
All right, I put my shoulder on the
They're
cabinet.
not Nazi jackboots. That's all you need to know.
Okay, I put my hand on the shoulder of the cabbie, and I slip him an American $100 bill, which I've had in my palm, just kind of ready to go, and I say, just drive steady, keep the lights on the car, and she will. I think I'm just gonna shoot calmly. At the most reasonable rate possible, for the tire, that's on that same side as the person trying to get out. Yeah.
Okay, it's like a cold shot.
Well, and I mean, she will shoot again and again. Like it's. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yes,
like she's
a
at
called
the
shot.
range.
Yes, but
And what is she shooting with, by the way?
Well, this is this is the Han Solo gun. This is with the
The mouse or what is
The-
it?
yeah
The broom handle Mauser pistol.
yeah the Red 9 is what it's called. Sorry.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead. You get one free shot before you end up in the initiative order.
Okay. All right. So let's I'm sorry. This is where the no roll 20s are tough
Comes
for
in.
this guy.
So you got firearms of what? You got firearms
Six. Yeah.
You can add 3 to that because we're gonna give this gun a rating of 3 lethal. So you roll 9 dice.
Nice.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not yet familiar with how this works.
Yeah, you just add the rating of the weapon to dice pool already to your skill. So in other words, you have a firearm skill of 6. You're rolling 6 dice. Then you add the rating of the weapon to that. So you're rolling 3 more dice. So you're rolling 9.
Okay.
And not remembering the called shot rules, I'm
-4, I believe.
yeah.
So it just adjusts the pool downwards.
think it's
I'm gonna
-4.
spend.
Yeah, I think it's going to call it -4. So you're gonna roll. You're gonna end up rolling 5 dice. Unless
Alright,
you spend style.
I'm gonna spend 4 style. I'm gonna spend all my style. Save whatever one I got because maybe I'm helping someone escape right now.
All right.
So that'll bring it up to 8.
9.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Oh, nice.
Really? Okay, we're gonna say you
yeah.
blow the tire
Okay.
out. I'm gonna be nice enough to say you blow the tire out. In the absence,
Wow.
that's pretty impressive.
So as the first shot is fired, Erwin breaks out of his entrancement. What in the world, madam?
Love it.
Now it's the time to the Nazi's turn.
And
What is
unflapped Gretchen continues to shoot enough times to get what she wants. Because I always get what I want.
And we're were you looking something up, Jason?
Yeah, just it's specific location. So The -4 would be the head if he was calling out the
Right,
head.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Tire's pretty much the head. You know, we're to give it to him, but like I forget. We're to call that enough damage to to kill the tire. So now here's the Nazi's turn. Fritz himself. Let's see. We'll get to Fritz last. At
Yeah,
first,
because
we
that
got
way the rest of their turn is like, well, the car's going, what?
right.
Good shooting there, lady. So Betty pops her head up and looks back and says, "Oh, cow! Good shooting!"
Well, I mean,
Right.
if Vetty is not, I mean, the thought was that maybe that tire going out would decelerate the car in a way that might detach her from the car. But I mean, like, you can't control for these things, just like you can't control for what happens in court. I didn't get as much money from him as I thought I would.
So first of all, go ahead, roll me defense, Cole, against Claus as he tries to clock you.
Klaus or Hans?
I'm sorry, Quentin. Roll me defense first.
Oh, Quentin.
Yeah. Because Klaus is a little pissed off that you tried to pop him with the Captain Kirk double fist.
3. I got 4 successes.
Okay, you were defending against 3, so you managed to avoid him. In the meantime, go ahead. 4 successes against Mr. Gruber, who is a more accomplished boxer.
My defense?
Yeah, roll your defense.
All right, my defense, I got 3.
You got 3, so he whacks you right in the gut for 1 non-lethal.
All right. All right.
Apparently that got him very upset. But in the
Close
meantime,
quarters.
we're talking about Fritz, because now Fritz has had a couple bad things happen to him, and now the tire's been shot out after the car is swerved. So he's going to try to hold the car steady and have any kind of control over the car. So he's going to roll his gigantic 4-die pool of drive.
Create problem.
Yeah. He just manages to hold it steady. And by steady I mean the car does not flip over. You know, he needed 3 successes. He just got 3 successes. So the car is like swerving this way, swerving that way. He's trying to hold it steady with the 1 tire out. It's top of the round. Quentin, what are you doing now?
Quentin is, flailing around, and with the car, he falls on top of Hans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I take the chance to pickpocket the book out of Hans' possession.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
With 2 hands.
Servos on this guy.
Let's see. We're going to call this larceny.
Yes.
But I'm gonna
Yeah, I think that qualifies. Yeah.
I'm gonna give the call a larceny roll.
In the absence of a skullduggery skill in this game, I believe that is well placed.
All right, I am not going to let you synergize with incredible stealth because this is not exactly a very stealthy situation.
But he's distracted. He's gonna be some sort of
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll be magnanimous. You can actually roll 7 dice.
Oh, nice.
You need 5 successes for him not to notice.
Okay. So
But you only need 4 to actually get the book.
I need 4. I need 5 for him not to notice, but I need 4 to get the book.
Yeah.
So let's
You're rolling
see.
7 dice.
I'm gonna spend my last style point on
Roll 8 dice.
on rolling 8 dice. Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing. 8 dice right now. You can take the average. You get the book, but he notices. Or you can roll.
Take the book. Take the book. Take the book. Take the book.
No, I'm gonna roll it because if he notices, it's not gonna really do much. I think.
Door number 2. Door number 2.
Come on. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just 4.
The average. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
How
Well.
did that happen?
So you
With
actually
dramatic music.
Well, I should get like 1 style for that, right?
Yeah, that's a style point. That's pretty cool all by itself. Betty, you also earn a style point for being so impulsive that you kicked out the damn window.
I'm about to get even more impulsive, so you might want to wait and give me might want to give this to me after.
Oh yeah, no, you can take it now.
Okay.
They're useful in these scenes. In the meantime, okay, so Betty, what are you up to?
Betty is now going to stick her hands to the ceiling, and she's going to thrust herself out and kick her feet up onto the roof of the car.
Nice.
Wow.
All right.
With her hands tied. Yeah.
Well, her hands will be inside the car. She's going to try to kick her feet up over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then eventually
well,
pull herself out.
Okay, well, you've got an athletics score of 2.
Yeah, but I got 4
understand.
style points, baby.
You have 4 style points. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. You've got 4 style points right now. If you... I just say that's a difficulty 3. That's pretty tough.
Okay.
You can spend them all. You don't even need to roll dice. The average and get yourself right.
Oh, I'm not rolling dice. This is hero time. I'm going, man. This is like this is what it takes. So I'll take the average.
Dun, 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 dun. The music,
So all I need is 3, right?
Yeah, so you automatically
So I've got
you-
1 left. So I got 1 left. Okay.
Oh no, you had to spend all your style points.
Oh,
If you
okay,
wanted
gotcha.
to the average, yeah.
Yep.
If you had to roll 6 dice, you only had 2, so you had to add 4 more. So okay. So with pretty much all of your muster, you can describe how you get up there, but
So she kicks her feet. She's already got her feet through the window, so she's going to scooch up, brace herself against the roof, spin her feet up, and then start to work herself to the edge of the window. She's not on the roof yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be almost impossible, I think. But she's scooching herself out the window to onto the roof.
yeah, pretty amazing. So, Gretchen, you're seeing this in the meantime, Cole.
So she sees me pop out of the window or out of the side of the car.
Miss Gretchen, is that a woman on the roof?
I reckon that for a while now. Step on it, Cabby. I think we can. I think we should have been able to close our lead by a long time ago, given all the swerving that's going on.
The Nazi car is going like this, and she's climbing on top of it.
And the cabby's saying something like "Señorito Loco."
$100 bill. $100 bill.
$100 bills are just coming at the back of his head.
And the cabbie keeps on saying something like, "I got 5 kids to feed."
Está loca la gringa.
Well,
¡A la mierda! ¡Esta pelotuda me va!
That's the.
well, I think they're going to university in America by now.
¡Esta pelotuda!
with genuine Argentinian accent.
I'm really. I think it's really fun that like I've somehow like we've like I made a Latin character and now we're in the Latin part of the world. And it's just
Fantastic. So what is Cole doing now? That's his turn.
yeah.
Well, he's gonna attack, but I'm gonna use a style point. And basically, the guy hits him in the gut. Cole grabs him and headbutts him and rabbit punches him, like all the dirty boxing you can think of.
Right.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna add 1 more die to your pool. Right on.
You gonna bite his ear off?
No, he's not Tyson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 3 non-lethal to Hans Gruber, and he's you get him in the head, you get him in the gut.
Head punch him and start punching him, in the back of the neck, like all the dirty, illegal punching boxing
Exactly.
in the book.
And
And he's like, they can hear him growling, "Goddamn, blue-stepping son of a bitch!
Where's your Führer now, huh? Where's your Führer now?
Bring him here! I'll give him some of this."
Okay. And all right, so we're gonna say right somewhere between 1 is where Gretchen and Professor Irwin are actually existing. So what are you doing now? You see a woman getting on top of the car. You see all kinds of fisticuffs going on in the middle of it. Your mic's off. Come on, Gretchen.
Yeah, you're muted.
Actually, I'll let the doctor kind of decide what he's gonna do. Yeah, Gretchen is climbing on top of the car.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
yeah. We got like
My-
the distaff TJ hookers here.
My good woman.
Well, that would be an athletics roll there, Gretchen.
Woo!
Which is not your strongest skill. You have 2 dice in athletics. That's gonna crawling on the hood of a top of a moving car. I was gonna 3 successes, which
Now
is
let me lean on you to just suggest the congruence of a ride here, because I was in the Olympic Games as an acrobatic equestrian. See.
okay. Well, you may roll. You may synergize. You may 4 dice.
Nice.
And what's the difficulty I'm looking for?
It's still gonna be 3.
All right, I'm gonna.
So you
All right, I'm. That's fine. I'm gonna spend.
So
gonna spend
Betty
the
and Gretchen will meet standing on the tops of the cars.
Well,
I'm
unless
gonna
ours
spend the
flips
style
over.
that I maybe got. You're the GM for helping
Okay.
for
Oh, you
Betty
did.
try and escape.
You did well. Here's the thing now. If you're rolling 5 dice
Mm-hmm.
and the difficulty is 3, what you can do is simply roll 1 die because your average is 2+. If it comes up good, you make it. If it comes up bad, you don't. I prevent you from rolling the entire pool. Just 1
So
die.
this is kind of like chance die.
No, it's just 50-50 chance. I mean that's like instead of having to roll the whole 5-die pool, you just roll the 1 die.
No, okay. I mean, it's just my understanding that if I was to take 1 chance die, then I and then take the average. Whatever. Fine.
Well, here's the thing with chance. Well, no, you can roll chance dice. But I mean, they generally come in a 2 at a pop, so you can roll. Let's see, you're rolling. So you can add up to 10 more dice to a roll. So you could,
Whatever. You're the GM. I did not. Listen. I didn't roll a success on that 1 die.
You did it. Oh,
Now,
okay.
personally, I feel that that's more random, actually.
Right.
But than rather than less random. But I will suffer the consequences.
Okay. Let's see.
Gretchen's flaw is condescending. Just so
Roll yourself.
don't nobody take any of this personally.
Yeah.
Roll me a defense roll here. Roll your full defense pool.
Ready. I have 6.
Yeah, you have 6 defense dice, right? So how many? Just so roll me your defense. Tell me what you get.
Okay. I don't know who takes the average, but she would right now in this circumstance.
But not in defense.
Okay, that's fair. 3.
3. Oh, okay, right on.
She takes the
That's not
average.
bad. You take 1 non-lethal as you attempt to climb up on the car, which fortunately is not going really, really fast because the Nazi car is out of control and your driver does not want to hit it.
If fair enough.
But, Doctor, you see Gretchen start to climb as if she's trying to get onto the roof of the car. Almost has it for a second. It's like kind of remarkable. Like it's like, wow, could she really? No.
What is she doing?
Doctor, I could.
And she falls.
I could
on
use
the
a spot
the-
here. I could use a spot here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she falls onto the dirt road that you were on outside the shanty towns.
All the way to the road.
Oh yeah, no, you fell. In the meantime,
I rode in the
Doctor,
Kentucky Derby. What? The years must be taking their toll.
yeah, Erwin, what are you doing?
You,
As your dinner partners somehow become mad.
my goodness, good sir, please stop the vehicle. We need to. She may need medical attention.
Okay, so the vehicle is
Literally,
skidding.
I will slap him. I will slap him.
The vehicle is skidding to a halt.
As she comes
In the
stumbling
meantime-
back to the car, dazed.
In the meantime, go ahead. Let's see here. Quentin, go ahead. Roll defense. Roll defense against
Oh boy.
against Klaus as he attempts to pop you again.
What's my defense? 6.
Yeah.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. So you manage, like, he pops you in the back, but you don't take any damage from it. You manage to roll with a punch.
Block it with
the
a
road
bullet.
is,
And the same thing. Go ahead, Cole. You've really ticked off Hans, so he is going to try to whack you back with all of his might.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, cool. And apparently you beat him up so much that he manages to connect with the car seat, trying to knock one of your teeth out. But in the meantime, let's go back to Fritz. How's Fritz doing?
Oh, this is
Fritz is still managing to keep control of the car as it's like wobbling back and forth, and the tire is, it's going to. In the meantime, you can see off in the distance one of the cars, which is, it's going quite a bit. It's kind of stopped, and there are men starting to emerge from the one of the other cars. It's going quite a distance. It took them a while. It looks like to realize that something was amiss.
that there's a mess on top of the car.
Yeah. All right, so it's the top of the round here. Gretchen, you're not terribly far from the two cars. You're kind of like, well, you're behind both of them. but in the meantime, go ahead. It's Quentin. It is all you.
Yep.
You have this book.
I have the book. Let's see. What do I do? Klaus was trying to clock me, so I think I'm going to return to Faber with the book. I'm going to smack him with the book.
Throw the book at him.
Oh, that's a style point just for doing that.
I threw the book at my husband, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But as far as this one airplane.
And I still have a penalty of 2 for the bound hands, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring it
let's
back.
see. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is that melee?
No, but yeah, I guess it is. It's never gonna work because I don't have no actually. So I'll just try and bat him with the book.
Yeah, we'll call it brawl. We'll be nice.
Do I still have the -2 penalty for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm rolling 4 dice. I'm gonna spend my my 2 style on this roll again, so I'm back to 0 style, so I can roll 6 dice.
Okay. And you're going
Here
after
we go.
Klaus?
Yep. Come on, dice. I got 4 successes.
Nice.
All right. You managed to clock Klaus right in the head,
Nice.
and you can see his eyes roll back in the back of his head, and he slumps to the floor.
Nice.
Betty, you are now just about on top of this vehicle. You've seen another woman try to get onto the vehicle following you. Oddly enough, there's a taxi following you, and doesn't do quite so well.
Okay.
She lands semi-gracefully.
The only thing saving her, she landed on her feet, right? Sprained an ankle.
Well, she looks like she kind of rolled a little bit.
Okay. I will belly over now to the front of the car, so I can lay close to the front of the car as it swerves.
Yeah.
And I think what I would do is stick my hands down in front of Fritz, trying to occupy his eyes.
Oh,
Block his vision.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think the question is, can you hold on to this vehicle?
Yeah, no joke. Your hands are tied. Oh goodness.
That's all I can do. That's it.
Well, or you can slide and cover the windshield with your body while you hang on.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's see. You can rail.
The last thing I want to do is slide off in front of it and get run over, though.
Oh, that's true.
Falling off the top's one thing. Getting run over in the front's another.
Right on. Okay. Well, you go ahead and roll your 2 athletic dice. I'm gonna say you're on top of the vehicle. We'll let you be athletic enough.
Bro. 1 and a 3.
One of that would be a
Uh-oh.
0.
That's a 0.
That's a
Oh,
0.
that's a 0.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, roll me your defense. Roll score.
Defense score, full defense score, or passive body?
Full defense score. You go ahead, roll your.
Okay, 5. 5 dice.
Yeah, 5 dice.
1. Oh my God, 1.
Okay, so Betty, you take 3 non-lethal as you slide off the front of the car.
Oh.
But you do distract the hell out of Fritz, who's now going to take a
The
negative penalty.
front of the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you slide down the windshield like a poof on the hood, and like you're not landing as gracefully on this thing.
Oh dear Lord.
So Cole.
The car diver.
Yeah.
You could use your bound hands to like grab the hood ornament or
Yeah,
something and
right,
try
right.
hang on to that.
Like Indiana Jones style. You think she's been run over?
This is the game, like, you know, how did the TPK happen? Well, they all freaking fell off the roofs of cars.
Yeah. So basically, Cole just keeps, punching the guys like goose stepping, killing all kinds of insults as he keeps punching. 4 successes.
Oh wow!
4 successes. Oh,
And 7 dices. Yeah.
yeah. So you tool him up. You actually cause 1 non-lethal. He is pretty beat up, but he is just a nasty guy.
Damn.
So
We want to take a moment here in the broadcast and remind everybody that we do not endorse violence. Go ahead.
I do.
Okay.
I'm all for punching Nazis.
Okay.
You have to dot your I's and cross your T's. You never know.
I understand that, but Richard Spencer is relegated to obscurity now, and largely it's because of that very first punch.
Okay. So Gretchen, Doctor, what are you guys doing at this moment? That you can't believe your eyes. There's just women jumping out of cars everywhere. It's probably an Argentinian thing. You're not really sure. Not sure how long you've been here.
And you wonder why their men have left them.
So do I understand that has Betty already passed underneath of the car and is now in the roadway?
The side.
No. This car is swerving so much. She's just kind of like, as the car is doing this little snake dance around, because it's not really on. It just barely. It's not really getting very much farther away from you. The guy's just trying to keep control of this car as it's in a swerve,
It's swerving is why it didn't.
I don't know if anybody's gonna post this on YouTube, or is it streaming? Shit. You're gonna have to beep this.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm gonna go Samuel L. Jackson here in a minute.
Gretchen is gonna lay bullets into the other tire, the other rear tire of the car.
Okay. All right. Well, at this point, yeah. Now you're gonna be rolling 5 dice unless you're got other style points, because you're rolling a 9-die pool, but you're rolling you're taking a -4 for a called shot.
Is this something I can shoot at without taking a called shot?
I just shoot the damn car. Yeah, go right ahead.
The whole car.
Oh, you can shoot the driver. You can shoot at an occupant.
So I can shoot at occupants without penalty.
Yeah.
They're Nazis. It's a free shot. That's
Yeah. You can try to shoot the driver. Yeah.
All right, and I
the car's going to give him some protection, so his defense is going to be higher. But other than that, you can.
All right.
Jesus. What could go wrong?
All right.
You can shoot a Cole. You can shoot everyone.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's true.
Or you could help a poor woman up.
I'm not sure how I can do that from where you are right now.
Yeah, you're kind of. Shoot something.
I guess I'll just. I mean, this is one of my OSR kind of anxieties, but I'm just gonna shoot the driver. I'm gonna shoot him in the head. I'm gonna lickety split, shoot him in the head to kill him because he's a Nazi.
Okay, head's called shot, or just shoot the driver.
Well,
is just
never
not
mind. Then
called
I'm
shot.
just gonna shoot him
Okay,
because he's a Nazi.
Shoot them both. Yes. Okay. Good. All right, go. So you can roll your full 9 dice on that one. His defense is going to be a little higher because of being in the car. But
Now, how did we get to 9 dice? Let me figure this
you,
out.
your firearm skill is 6, and
Right.
then your
for the gun,
your gun does 3 lethal. So,
which adds to the pool. That's all they
yeah.
do. They just
Oh,
add to the-
oh wow, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
so pretty much any number on your ubiquity. So that's
And your damage is all the successes you do above their defense.
That seems to really favor. Never mind. We're going to talk about it in the reflections video
no, it's
tomorrow.
okay. I mean, no,
We're going
it's
to talk
it's
about it in the
like
reflections video. That's fine.
Yeah. Save something for the videos I can't watch while I go for it.
All right, we got a pretty crappy roll right here. I think we only got
yeah.
1, 2, 3 successes.
Uh-oh.
3 successes. So, wow, it's too bad because the bullet slams into the car door and does not into the Nazi himself.
And you know, I mean, as usual, I mean, you know, if I accidentally hit, I mean, you know, this is the. I'm not going to make any references to anybody who shoots a lot of bullets at once, you know, without care. There are a number of people in this modern day time who do so, but Gretchen is one of them also.
Recon by fire, Wilson.
Right. And to give you the
I mean,
part where
semi-automatic pistols perhaps were not made for law enforcement, but they were made for Gretchen.
and to give you the where this differs from Shadowrun, the driver's defense was 4 dice. I can just take the average, so his defense is always 2. He always has 2 successes, so I'm not rolling. But I added 2 more, so his defense was 6. So he had 3. So that's what happened. You didn't. Yeah, I just take the average
A
one.
woman with as much moxie as Gretchen would not be playing Shadowrun.
So, Doctor, what are you doing
Style
now?
point. Give him a style point
Wait,
for that.
so
No,
Yeah, that's
take a style point away from that.
okay. Go ahead, Doctor. What are you doing at this point?
so did the vehicle, or I got the cabbie to stop?
Yeah, the cabbie's just completely stopped. He's freaking out. You know,
Okay, so
he's got the $100, but the woman that's keeps feeding the money is just just exited the vehicle.
right. So I open the door just as she's shooting again. Close it real quick. Jesus Christ! As soon as she's done, open the door. Would you kindly get back in so we can pick that young lady up?
Oh, that's good.
All right, so.
Jesus.
Doctor, for essentially refusing to participate in this gunfight in any manner, your style point.
Style point.
Your
yeah.
pacifism for complete stalwartly for refusing to help, except to object, conscientiously object. That's what's going on. You get a style point for that. That's beautiful. All right, now for the Nazis.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Nazis.
Now Claus is out. He's down for the count.
I don't
We're gonna
actually
flip
care
over.
that my mic was off. I still had something to say about that.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna flip a die here for a second to see, does Hans go first or does Fritz go first? This is all split. So we're gonna say success is Hans and failure is Fritz goes first. Well, Hans goes first. Okay, so Hans is really pissed off at Cole at this particular point. So he tries to clock you one more time.
All right, I got 1, 2, 3 successes on my.
He clocks you for another point of non-lethal damage. Gives you an elbow, right into the someplace that hurts, into the ribs. Pretty bad. However,
My crippled grandma hits harder than you.
well, you get about half of that sentence out because Fritz has just rolled no successes.
Oh.
So
I see a
The vehicle
NASCAR
doesn't-
wreck coming.
the vehicle doesn't go end over end, but it hits a rock
Oh Jesus.
Oh.
and it flips over on its side.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay.
Everybody in the vehicle, you can roll your defense.
Full defense or passive?
Your full defense. Your full defense.
Does acrobatics help on that?
You can always roll your acrobatics skill in place of your defense if it's more.
No.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much identical there.
Ouch! 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. That's what you were looking for.
I got 3.
Okay, so you get banged around a little bit, but you do not get
Nice.
knocked out. Let's see.
What-
Let's see how our other two fellows do.
How the Razzies do.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how they do. And okay. So Fritz and Hans are still conscious.
Okay.
The cool part is, the car is on its side. The part where Quentin is closest to is the part which is facing the sky.
Okay.
And so, Quentin, you are up.
Is Hans still?
Yeah.
Conscious?
Yeah.
Hans it's an interesting situation. Hans and the unconscious claws are kind of on top of Cole.
Oh,
And there's sort of kind of a squirming mass. And then in the meantime, you are the nearest to the door, so you're kind of on top of all of them.
yeah.
Fritz is sort of moaning in the front seat.
Mm-hmm. So I will stuff the journal in a pocket and try the Captain Kirk punch once again on Hans, seeing this maybe I got the upper hand now because he's just beat up. So is it still -2 penalty?
Yeah. You want to call it minus?
He had to nerf you, man. Quentin's too good.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking because because it's not going to work with the -2.
Maybe you can do an 8 another action. Is that help with your combat skill?
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, try to
like you grab
try
him,
to-
use
try
your rope to
distract
grab him.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just
And,
try
you put
and-
over his head and
and
give
try
the guy an
and,
opening.
yeah,
Yeah,
at
that
least
you
an
could
arm
do,
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say you could try that with a full your full dice pool. You wanna try to
Okay.
grapple.
So let's try that. Here we go. Oh, there we go. 3 successes on 4 dice. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, no, so you just got over that. Is I believe it's I think it's active. It doesn't really make a difference because they're the same in his case. So you've got him. You're
Get him,
holding
Mr.
him.
Thornton. Get him, Mr. Thornton.
That's gonna give you a couple more dice to add to your
All right.
pool there.
All right, so try and sock him on the jaw. Why not? So come on, 9 dice. It's like shooting a gun. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Next successes. Well, you've managed to knock him cold.
Like an uppercut, like I move Klaus aside. Boom.
Nice.
If Fritz say, please don't kill me.
If he's a dancer, he just says die.
All right. Betty?
Betty's getting up, and she's looking about to see what's happened. If she has seen the car flip, then she'll head toward the car, toward her friends.
In the meantime, you can see, or you can hear behind you, and you may, if you turn your head, you can see that they're under Nazis starting to run. You can recognize Carl's Visky's voice. You must get them. You must not let them get away.
Oh, well. If I see him,
You can hear him at this point. I mean,
can
his
I? I
fingers
mean,
are
so he's
but
not.
yeah, he's one of them.
He's not close.
They're not close, but they are kind of running towards you at this point.
Okay. Wow. She might then duck into the bushes behind the wrecked car.
Okay.
So as she's running toward them, she hears them. I might just duck into the bushes.
Gotcha. Okay, and Gretchen, what's going on?
I know. Are we already out of town? I mean, is it in fact she just ducked into the bushes, or she just ducked into the shacks, or what?
No, you were. Great.
I may have drank a little bit too much wine on our date. It's possible.
Okay. She is actually ducked in some bushes. You were outside of town. You passed the shanty towns. You were, going towards some kind of. Well, you don't know where the hell you were going, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I mean, I think that I'm just gonna shoot at Nazis, like not with any intent to kill, but just kind of to distract them. So I mean,
Go right ahead.
if that means aiding other people's actions, I mean, but the thing is that I'm just gonna satisfy myself with shooting Nazis, and
shoot away.
All right. You tell me if I need to roll dice now or later. That's fine.
Oh, you're rolling now. If you're
Here's what I'm gonna do.
rolling.
I'm gonna wait for a Nazi to try and stop someone from escaping.
Okay, I guess you're just gonna hold the action. All right, I understand.
Yeah. So if someone's escaping who's held prisoner by Nazis,
Yeah.
You understand my meaning. All right.
What you can do is you can aiming.
No, I think hold action is the appropriate one, as a matter of fact, because
Okay.
that sounds about right.
And Doctor, what are you up to?
And this little smile on this little smirk as I see this woman kind of slip away from the car.
Okay, so Gretchen, did you get in the? You obviously did not get in the car when I told you to get in the car.
As a matter of fact, I mean, now that everything's stopped, I think that I'm going to just step out of the car, and fasten up the stock onto my Red 9, so that I can be a little bit, just that much more ready to shoot a Nazi.
Okay, so the Nazis are coming at him essentially from their nose, from the first car, the ones that are coming back at him.
Yes.
Oh,
So they're coming from the front?
and Gretchen has literally never acknowledged that there's a second car. Like this, as this is going through your mind, you see that she's never even never even occurred to her.
So if there's the second car that now has people coming out, run into the flipped car, is what direction? How is the flipped car facing their approach?
That's a good
The
question.
flip car is kind of like broadside, so it does provide cover, so to speak.
Yeah,
Okay,
so the wheels facing the other Nazis, or is the hood of the car facing the Nazis?
Let's find out. Let's see. Wheels facing Nazis is success. Yeah, wheels are facing the Nazis.
Yes.
The hood is facing.
Okay.
Yes.
So he, now in frustration of his guest not stopping, taps the cabbie on the shoulder. Good sir, if you would pull up to the tail end of that vehicle there, it does appear there are some the aggressors are unconscious, and I'd like to see if some of my friends are also suffering the same fate. So if you could pull right up there and get out here on the passenger side, maybe help me out a little bit. What say you, sir?
So you're asking him to actually get out of the car?
So I'm asking him to pull up.
I think he's asking him
Hold
to maneuver the car.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
to
No,
maneuver
he'll
the
pull
car.
up for you.
And then but also letting him know that he might want to move to the passenger side, just in case pew-pews start happening.
So he pulls up to the car, and he said, "He's not getting out. They're coming. Hurry! You must hurry."
Okay, and then so I'll kind of half open the door and yell at anybody need a ride?
Well,
Nice.
Betty's running for the car. All of a sudden, she's out of the bushes and diving into the passenger seat.
Hey, Betty, your rifle
No,
might be in
that's
the
actually
trunk of this
Right,
car.
right past you.
Yeah, we're gonna call it no athletics roll needed, like Dukes of Hazzard style. Just jumping right into the open window in the passenger seat of the taxi.
You're gonna leave your beloved rifle in the trunk of the car, of the Nazi car?
She's not thinking that right now. She's well, you know,
Not to mention poor Mr. Stafford. Yeah.
with
I
with
remember it
wounds,
as a
with
bit
three
hazy as a
three
first
injuries,
grader,
yeah.
but I don't remember seeing any bruised midriffs on Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh God. Anyhow, so you've jumped in the car. What are the two of you doing as you hear this invitation?
I quickly go through Hans's pocket, see if he's got a handgun that I can take, and then get out of the car. Let's go, Mr. Thornton.
Yeah. Cole would take Klaus's Luger. I assume that's what they're packing.
Yeah, you're both able to grab Lugers off the.
Okay.
And climb out of the car, and he'll check the trunk.
And check the trunk of the car. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. How are you getting in the trunk of the car?
Was it wedged open when they flipped?
I was gonna say I would assume the whole damn thing popped open.
I think
They're probably laying in the road, guns, luggage.
Yeah.
as much as this is not directly tied to Gretchen's motivation, I think that she will use her aid right here to she'll just throw her aid another onto opening the trunk by laying some bullets into the trunk.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. The trunk is now open.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So apparently this woman steps up from the darkness and begins to pump lead into the trunk.
Well, I mean,
She does not
I-
doesn't like his car.
I
She hates
imagine
this
What
car.
the hell?
I imagine
It's
Cole
Cole's
might
dream
still have to
woman.
kick it
He
open.
looks at her and everything stops and the music swells.
Yeah.
His dream woman.
This is an aid another action. This is not a steal spotlight action.
As long as she does it in a condescending fashion.
Yeah.
As attempting
Get
to
out
open
of
the
the way,
trunk.
you big lug.
All right.
Bang, 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 bang.
She does in fact do this in a condescending fashion. Here, let me help you with that.
That's fantastic. All right, and you actually you guys your foot locker with your stuff is in there.
All right, so he'll look, because he's stubborn. He's not gonna leave without. So he looks over one shoulder and follows Quentin.
Nice.
Okay, so for your stubbornness, as the Nazis are now opening fire, I'll give you a style point for that. For being such a stubborn bastard, you're getting your stuff.
Yeah. Let
And
some
now, in fact,
Nazis
the
have my
Nazis
vote.
are beginning to open fire.
All right.
Are we still in
so-
initiative?
Not at this point, unless you choose to engage them in combat.
No, we're just
No.
trying to maybe shoot some covering fire if necessary, but the idea is to get to the car as soon as possible.
May I recommend that those loud noises y'all are hearing be a dinner bell, if you will, to get in the car.
Yeah, I mean, you see this guy who looks like 6'2" Indiana Jones running, just booking as fast as he can with this huge footlocker on his shoulder. He's not taking his time.
And a skinny kid with a crumpled hat and his arms bound, but there's a
Luca. Luca.
Fantastic.
What is in that trunk that money can't buy? Let's get out of here.
The driver's not even waiting for you guys to
Yeah, I was going to
Spinning
say,
the
I'm
statue
sure the
around,
driver is starting to peel out.
Yeah.
stops the car, bam, bam, You like,
We better stop to pick up.
Unos yankees me han dañado el taxi.
¡A la mierda!
Driving
¡Estos
back.
hijos de puta!
He's driving back. Oh, jeez. He's driving back to Buenos Aires as fast as he possibly can. And in the
Does he stop
meantime,
to pick up Gretchen?
No, she jumped in the car already.
oh yeah, she's already in the car.
Well, at least I hope. Yeah.
He's
In the
like,
meantime,
Cole looks around the car and says, "Hey, I don't know who you folks are, but digo, muchas gracias." He doesn't know.
And you just hear Betty curled up in a fetal position in the front seat moan.
Larry.
All right.
Miss B, are you okay?
I mean, regardless of the accuracy,
I fell off a moving car. Q, what do you think?
regardless of the accuracy or the effectiveness, I suppose Gretchen will just continue to pump bullets kind of randomly into the darkness to keep the Nazis, preoccupied. And she might hop into the trunk or whatever is possible. But she reckons she can find her way if the car drives off without her. But she should get in the car if the car is available.
Oh yeah, the car's available. The driver's peeling out.
All right.
The Nazis are running back to their vehicle to try to give chase.
Since I've broken a horse, this is the most work I've done. With my own hands. So at this point, she's ready for a bit of a rest and perhaps a drink.
It's like, Cole's like, thanks. Who are you people?
Well, sir, my name is Irwin.
Irwin, untie me. And I shove my hands in Irwin's face.
So, obliging starts to untie. I believe that all of you were contracted by Mr. Wayland, yes?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
She's rubbing her wrists.
How did you know that, mister?
Mr. Wayland tried to enlist me, tried to bring me in for my expertise, but unfortunately I'm not one for those non-disclosure agreements. They're not my style. I like the search for knowledge and keeping it open. I don't like this hidden stuff.
Huh. Not your expertise. What is your expertise, mister?
Oh, no. This I was very much my expertise. I am a geologist by trade with a background in zoology as well, and everything I have that I've looked into points me that this is going to be an interesting little adventure y'all are on. But
Well, I don't know how interesting it's gonna be. We lost the guy linking us to Mr. Wayland, and we lost our egghead, our other professor.
oh yes, Mr. Potts.
And Larry.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. B. Don't worry, Mrs. B. I got the journal.
She pops her head up and looks into the back seat. Good going there, Q.
And I'm guessing I know what your expertise is. I'm Quentin P. Delaney. And she's talking to Gretchen, obviously.
Hello, Quentin. I've had a number of lawyers in my past, so you have to prejudice me somewhat because I'm a bit prejudiced towards you, which is to say, I can tell you're a reporter, and she's already repacking her magazine.
Okay. Oh well. Thanks anyway, folks. We sure got us out of a tight spot there.
Does Gretchen have the empathy to really figure out that he's a reporter?
Ooh.
No. Ooh. I mean, no. That's actually.
Yeah, in fact, she has no empathy whatsoever.
After my husband was through with me, I was done with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The only empathy I've got left is for the horses.
Oh, you poor
So
woman.
I was
You poor,
should remind you
poor
at this
woman.
point, Betty is a skilled healer,
Hmm.
and in the absence of actual proper first aid equipment, you would take a -2 penalty, but you can roll your medicine skill on anybody that's actually injured.
Pardon me. Absolutely. I don't know if she would doctor herself, but that just depends.
She can.
Did you say at a -2, sir?
Yeah, I mean, without like your
Take
stuff,
care of yourself first, darling.
you can improvise.
That's the
But
first
anybody
rule.
has any successes you roll on each individual.
Okay. So minus
You'd be
2.
rolling
That means
4 dice.
I'm rolling 4 dice. Here we go.
Yeah.
1 again. Boy, I tell you, I'm not getting the average at all.
Well, you can heal a point of non-lethal.
Yep. Okay.
And anybody else
and
has
then
a non-lethal damage
I'll
if
ask
you care.
as I tear my blouse and start cleaning my scratches on my shoulders, my face. I'll look over to the back seat and ask if anyone needs help.
Yeah, Colt could use some help. And is Quentin wounded at all?
No, Quentin miraculously got out unscathed,
Yeah.
which is on character for the report, right? This is
Yeah.
Yeah.
She spins around and goes over the. Of course, this is a bench seat, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's
Oh,
in the
yeah.
back seat working on Sammy. Sammy, come here. Let me see those. Woo! Looks like he got a few licks in, didn't he, Sammy? Oh, 3. 3 successes.
All right, I'm all set. And that's Cole, Mrs. Barnes.
Oh, Sammy. Come on.
There's this other. Are you going to attempt to bind any of the wounds on this other gal? Yeah. Seems to be your partner in jumping on top of cars.
Uh-huh. And how about you there, Miss Wilson?
I reckon all I need is a cigarette and a good night's sleep. Perhaps another drink. Time heals all wounds. I've been thrown off
rolled
of wounds
one.
before.
While she's muttering on,
Cigarette?
Gretchen is doctoring her wounds. One success. Betty,
All right.
excuse me.
No,
And while she is, she asks her, not from the Wilson athletics magnet.
no. So Gretchen takes. Wilson is not the name that I had when I was a jockey. But okay, so Gretchen actually holds her cigarette away and I don't know what kind of group we're playing with, but regardless of say,
It's that kind of group. Whatever you think, it's that kind of group.
regardless of say, Gretchen takes the time to experience
Nazi hate, that's for sure.
to experience Betty's hands, and that is all that is all that I'm going to say.
Fantastic.
And takes a drag on her cigarette.
We'll call this a back rub.
Oh!
Zing!
Style point to Ivan. Yeah, style point to Ivan.
Style point for the
Okay, so your driver actually Ernesto is actually, we'll call him Ernesto. He's actually able to evade the Nazis. As he goes to the shanty town, like he turns the headlights off, he ducks behind some buildings, and Nazis drive off into Buenos Aires again. So he's able to to evade them, and breathes a sigh of relief. So where to now?
The Zeppelin. Nobody's at the Zeppelin. We can steal that Zeppelin.
You think there's no Nazis at the Zeppelin? You're crazy, senorita.
Now, I reckon. Now, do you all know where this Utani fella is, and where his money is?
We have reason to believe he went down to Antarctica.
Well, I happen to have myself a plane. I don't think we need ourselves a Zeppelin.
Oh, well, you don't have to ask us twice. Yes, Gretchen will borrow it.
All right. Well, then why don't we get ourselves down to port?
Thank you. Much obliged, ma'am, loaning us your plane.
No, it's going on Mr. Yutani's tab. and that is all.
Well,
If he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
that sounds great to me.
And
I'm sure-
she looks very concerned, and then she shrugs.
I'm sure we can. I'm sure this journal maybe have some idea of where Mr. Yutani and Mr. Larry. So maybe between all of us, we can figure it out exactly where in Antarctica they've gone to.
I'm pretty good with maps from my time in the. I'll take a look at those.
I was gonna say I've got a pretty solid investigation.
Yeah.
If that's the research is my forte.
No. So let's all take a look
Yeah,
at this. And maybe we can.
Well, probably the most
Once we're on the
intelligent thing.
plane, once we're on the plane, we'll look at it. We better make sure that the Nazis don't catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Still, pisses me off to leave. What's his face? Because I can't open my note.
Well, thank you for coming. For
Stafford.
bringing.
Mr. Stafford behind. God damn it.
Well, good thing you brought our belongings, Mr. Thornton. Now, somebody cut me loose. Check if my camera's in there.
Well, you can get the thing open.
Betty will untie Quentin.
Okay.
And see if my Lee Enfield's in there.
Yeah.
That's
You
good
finally-
thinking, Cole, to grab that baggage.
Figured we
So
might
how are
need
you
it.
at-
If we're- uh-huh.
How are you nice folks dressed?
Like I was drugged behind a horse.
Yeah.
I'm in my whatever my jungle gear would have been, my explorer's outfit when they kidnapped him.
Right, wearing
Yeah.
khakis.
So you're in good shape for negative temperatures.
Oh, that's right. We need some
This occurs to anybody with an intelligence of
Yeah.
of zero. Yeah.
Yeah.
actually
Yes.
probably 2 or higher.
Plus Betty and Cole have survived.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
This
So
would
we're-
definitely occur to Betty and Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna need some cold weather gear. Down
In
there.
Buenos Aires, where do we get cold weather gear in Buenos Aires?
I'm
They-
sure we
they
can
sell
find
it.
that.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, they sell
They
it
got
because they
winter
get
there.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in our summer, but but they got a really cold winter.
Dude,
Wrong
That's
time
what
of
they
the
do.
year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, They're down
I'll
there
be
wearing-
darned. I didn't know that.
They
Yeah,
got
I'm
all
already
seasons.
Time of
outsold
the
my
year.
plane for
Like flipped.
for
That's right.
trips with people interested in outdoor sightseeing, wishing to include hunters. So I mean, I have a light outerwear from the. It's 2 initials and it's an American company. What is it? It's E.B. Barnett or E.G. E.G. Farrell. It's,
J.C. Penney's.
It's outerwear. Specifically, Teddy Roosevelt is behind it, if I
So
recall
that's-
correctly.
As you get to Gretchen's digs, the stuff that she shows you looks like it might do you okay in let's see,
In San
Vermont?
Francisco.
in Vermont in the fall, but you know Betty and Cole were able to realize that it's something much warmer, and you realize you could probably purchase this, you know, at some of the really good places around here, but who has any money?
Not me.
Our cabbie does.
Lots of it.
I can only think of one other person that might have cash.
Miss Wilson. It does appear to me that this might get us through a decent fall's evening up north, but I think we might need something a little more hefty for Antarctica.
Hooded parkas, heavy gloves. We need some glasses to help us with the glare.
Now wait a
Well-
minute. You're fixing to go all the way to the bottom of the world?
That's where Larry's at. Aren't you paying
gonna
attention,
cost me.
Gretchen?
Larry!
That's right.
I mean,
I don't know what these.
Granted, it does seem like a great place to get away from anybody who's after you, including my ex-husband.
Nazi.
Miss Wilson, I can assure you there are no lawyers down in Antarctica.
Now, this is what attracts me to the place.
And maybe you could put the expenses for that gear on Mr. Yutani's tab as well.
I like the way you think, son.
Having yet to meet this fella, has he ever paid any of y'all's bills?
He paid our way down here and all the way to the Amazon.
And he gave us some nice gear that. Let's see.
Most of this gear he bought.
Consider it settled.
So, let's see what time we have here. You're actually able to procure gear. You can tell, like in the town, that there is still.
Yeah, at some point, Gretchen just lays down in the back of the, like in the sleeper room in the seaplane, and everyone else is left to their devices. Like she takes care of herself like a true millennial.
That's fantastic.
The first.
This is exactly the way I predicted your hair would look. Just saying, these guys can attest to that. But anyhow, you're able to procure the correct gear with the money loan, as it were, from Miss Wilson. Hopefully that either Yutani or Wayland might pay it back at some point. You're also able to go, between all of you, like looking at this book, looking at the maps, looking at the enigmas and what have you, as Ms. Wilson kind of decides to just hang out and veg out before you leave.
And usually, probably in Buenos Aires, we can get a decent map of like Antarctica for the time, right? Because they're
absolutely,
there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we can
Absolutely.
use that to navigate.
Right. Now, of course, you're dealing with Crazy Larry's sketches and ravings and what have you.
And
But
Betty whimpers and cries every time she sees his handwriting and is looking at it.
Yeah. He's got a picture.
He was so
He's got a
cute when he
picture of the
wrote like a
continent.
maniac.
He's got a picture of the continent, which looks a little bit bizarre, but like
Nobody's actually asked if Larry was like that when I knew it. He might have been a crazy son of a gun.
Yeah, we have no idea. It's
I mean,
better
you guys
not.
are just making assumptions that Larry wasn't always.
Who's assuming that? We're just not asking.
Right.
well, Betty doesn't exactly seem stable herself, so we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like,
It's got a picture of of Antarctica. The best one you can see is like there's like scribblings in the margins everywhere about like Lost City, but then there's like clearly like they're directing like to the South Pole, like past all the base camps, past where where the Americans actually have a camp right now. After Admiral Byrd's first expedition flyover. There, the Americans actually have a camp there now. But this is past, and there's like pictures on this map. You realize they're bizarre, but you figure out, well, he means there's mountains there, like right around the South Pole. And then there's a lot of question marks, Lost City, and then it kind of ends right there. But it sounds as if you're supposed to fly, or to walk or whatever else you want to do to the South Pole itself.
Mm-hmm.
the South Pole.
Miss Wilson, can we land this plane safely?
I finish the sentence, and I'll give you an answer.
Can we land this seaplane safely in the South Pole?
Is there a sea in the South Pole?
But that's a long hike.
About 800 miles, something like that.
Yeah, right. I mean,
No. if you're willing to take a mild layover in South Georgia, then I see no reason that we cannot buy some skis to fit on the sponsons, and we cannot make something of an improvised landing on the South Pole, given that there's going to be something like snow and ice. I would prefer that we landed on water so that we can take back off again. Because is it my understanding, if my flight instructors have been truthful, that you can't take back off with a seaplane from anything but water.
Betty walks over and fingers one of the parachutes as you talk, picks it up, checks it out, sets it down. Yeah, okay.
Oh my goodness.
That might be a problem.
Listen, I'm fixing to get as far away from my ex-husband as I can. So the bottom of the world seems just fine to me, and it looks like.
And I'm trying to get as close to mine as I can. So you and I are in the same boat, sister.
Anderson Cooper eye roll gif. like pukes in mouth.
All right. Well, moving right along, unless somebody has any objections, you're able to make a hop over to one of the islands right adjacent to Antarctica, or Antarctica proper, landmass proper. You're able to get the plane retrofitted with skis.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, and this really encourages Gretchen. Like she's like, all right, she will take a risk on all these people.
This is taking some time. Are you telling people what you're trying to do?
Put skis on a plane. Mind your own business.
But you haven't actually told anybody that's your plan to go to the South Pole.
Right.
I mean, I think what season is it?
It is summer, so it's a little bit easier. Or a winter. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's the summer there.
Yeah.
I get mixed up in the southern hemisphere. You know, it's our winter
It's
there.
the opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
that's
December
what threw me
or
off
something.
earlier. Yeah.
Either in Buenos Aires or on South Georgia or wherever it is that we land. I mean, like, somebody does make note of us purchasing the skis. Yeah. Gretchen thinks about, but then doesn't give $100 bill to that person to not tell her ex-husband's lawyers.
Well, to be fair, there's all of Patagonia, plus
Right.
Antarctica, plus the pole, plus the glaciers
Right.
there. So there's a lot of places where you might be going. Hell, you might be going to the Falklands.
There you go. Exactly.
I don't think there's any ice sheets in the Falklands in the middle of summer, or rather southern hemisphere summer.
Well, I tell you, we're not going to the South Pole. That's for sure.
And so Betty's going to use
that's-
her con skill.
I mean, we
That's
got a
awesome.
lot of things to look at. We got a lot of photographs to take, and we're just not going to make it to the South Pole. There's no way. Hell, only crazy men go down to the South Pole. Any of these fellas look crazy to you? Well,
The doctor looks
okay.
away.
Yeah. So, as you finally take off to make the actual trek, several men seem to think you might be going to the South Pole based on what this crazy woman Betty said. That you couldn't possibly. They just you can't believe, man. She protests so much that they're not going to the South. We're going someplace, but it ain't the South Pole.
No.
I can tell you that. Only crazy people go there. Yeah, we're going on vacation, but not the South Pole. Nope, not even like Bang. So it's kind of a treacherous trip.
Anything but crazy.
As you fly the plane. I mean, Gretchen piloting. So you're able to handle the plane and the weather's to get a little bit rough. And finally, you start to see, like, unbelievably, mountains in the distance.
Eddie's putting on a parachute. Matter of fact, she's probably walking around the plane in a parachute the whole time.
Now
You're flying.
I got nothing to say to you, darling. I don't know that we're actually flying high enough for that thing to work.
The mountains actually look impossibly high, but you're able to get over the peaks. They look dark and ominous, and there's almost like a mist around this whole land. Notice the compass in the plane stops working. It just starts spinning around like mad.
I spend most of my time here, if I'm not nauseous from the movement of the plane, just trying to go over the journal, trying to figure out,
Hey, fellow with a
about
crammer,
this.
why don't you write something down and drop it off to the plane in case this is the last anybody will hear of us?
What are you saying, Gretchen? What are you saying?
I want somebody to know a woman discovered whatever we're about to see.
You mean women? You mean women, don't you?
She's got absolutely nothing to say. Like the condescension cannot acknowledge what you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a style point right there. That's fantastic.
Colt's looking at the compass, go crazy. Now, what the hell? He knows how to get places. He doesn't know geology.
Right. At this point, you start to hit a lot of, and I'm going to need you to make a piloting roll.
Well, I mean, I would try and just take the average. I mean, like I had to fight my husband when he was my husband for every hour of flight time. After it was a novelty that a woman was in the seat. But I will fight the stick if I have to. I've had to enough times in my life already.
Gotcha. Taking the average, the plane starts to lurch out of control.
Uh-oh.
And you really start to have a hard time keeping her steady.
Fair enough.
Trying to keep your bearings, like a lot of the instruments start to spin around wildly.
I will spend the style. I will spend the style.
How many style?
I mean, I think that under any reasonable reckoning, I only have 2.
I would give you
my
5
average.
success.
My average was only 3, so
I think at a piloting skill of 8. I think you're pretty good.
So the lingo here throws me up quite a bit. Okay.
What's that?
So as far as I have a piloting skill of 8.
Right.
8 dice.
I have
Yeah,
8 dice. I do have 8 dice. I do have 8 dice.
Taking the average has given you 4 successes, which you right now the difficulty of this particular thing is 5. It's incredibly hard to keep control of this plane.
Well, in this case, she would throw the rest of his style at this moment to be the woman who discovered whatever this is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
excellent. So there's turbulence. The plane rocks and lurches back and forth.
And we will dive to the deck. We will dive to the deck so that everyone has the most magnificent view of whatever it is we're about to see.
Fantastic. You start to see mountains again. You haven't been able to see them in a while. But oddly enough,
and we pull up.
You're able to pull up. You're able to pull up on time. You're able to do some incredible acrobatics. And the skis on the bottom of the plane, you can hear one of them like pop off as a tree takes it right off.
A tree?
Money well spent.
The plane continues.
What incarnation was that? Was that a tree?
The plane continues
He's
to
trying to
bank.
look at. So he's looking at the ports, the
Honey, I
windows.
think you're a bit low,
Alright.
aren't you, Gretchen?
I got it. And to Gretchen, this is the same feeling as falling in love. in the sense that this is the bottom falling out from whatever the thought was coming.
And you're able to avoid more, like, obviously we're flying over a canopy now. It's decidedly much warmer. You start to realize this is getting pretty warm. And just as the plane really seems to be like losing it entirely, you see the most welcome sight you could possibly see.
And this is
McDonald's?
This is
a large lake. A McDonald's. It's not a McDonald's, but it's a large lake. And if there's one place you can land this damn thing, especially when it's going that crazy, it's in a body of water. So, with a less than graceful splash, the plane finally lands.
Yeah, Cole's like looking at Erwin. What the hell?
I'm a bit befuddled myself, sir. This kind of climate.
Is that where Larry's at?
This shouldn't be down here. This shouldn't be possible.
I reckon that the best laid plans of mice and, well, let's just say, why don't we go for a walk here, honey? And Gretchen holds out her hand as if she'd like to take Betty's arm, like a full-on cabaret lesbian, but she's too proud. She's too proud to actually like declare to be out herself, and she'd like to see whatever it is we're gonna see.
Well, as soon as
by
the
herself
plane,
if she has to.
The plane, I guess, lands in the middle of this lake, right?
Right.
As soon as it slows enough, like Cole is like feeling the temperatures, like this has got to be wrong. So he opens the door to see.
Oh, and of course we are taxiing to the shallows.
Right.
Yeah, so,
I mean, regardless of, like Gretchen will fly the plane to the shallows.
yeah, so, but that's what I mean. While you're taxiing, Cole would open the doors. It's got to be cold out here. What the hell?
It is ridiculously warm right now. You feel that you're suffocating you.
And Betty rolls her eyes and said, "More money well spent. So much for those parkas."
The camera.
Yeah.
It's gonna
When
be
did it
one of those.
Go in.
It's gotta be one of those huge ones with the little.
Yeah, right.
I can tell you that what you see, as the screen starts to go dark, is that the Amazon was nothing compared to this. You can just see by the shore itself, like just incredibly tall trees, vines. It just looked like just an incredibly dense jungle. The sun is overhead, like ridiculously bright. It's like look it's got to be noon.
Yeah, so it's more and more anxiety. And this is premature imagination then for Gretchen, because she's more worried that we made a wrong turn and that we're back in the Amazon.
On the way to Albuquerque.
She's more worried that we got closer to her ex-husband, actually.
And Cole, as Cole looks out the open door on his stereotypically square-jawed face, it goes from like being like shocked to like wonder, like, man, new forest I haven't seen.
And Betty, what are you doing at this exact?
Betty's looking out the window, saying, thinking to herself, "How are we gonna find Larry in all of this?"
Now, there's one thing that Cole and Betty notice that probably escapes everybody else's
hands on the
attention.
steering wheel for Gretchen. Seeing her longing for Larry. She's just like,
oh yeah,
screw this woman.
Well, that's what's not happening,
Larry,
right?
How are we gonna find him in all of this?
Here's what Cole and Betty notice that anybody else probably wouldn't. It's misty, it looks like you're in the middle of a hot human jungle. But as you look around, you realize no matter which direction you look, it appears as though you're in the distance. Like you can start to see like the terrain start to go up, as if like you're always looking at the bottom of a mountain. But this seems to occur like no matter which direction you're looking.
Like we're in the bottom of a bowl.
Like a basin.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little. You couldn't possibly be in a valley that like where there's a mountain on every single side of you.
Right.
There's something wrong with
But
this place.
it just seems like no matter it looks as though you've landed in the middle of a giant depression. Like, I mean, something like it would take you to the horizon to see, and the horizon is kind of misty, so it's not as far as, like, the
Wait,
farthest thing, like
So we went from one Great Depression to another.
right, yeah, exactly. Oh, that was terrible.
That won't earn you a style point, buddy. No.
Yeah,
Just nervously flicking the altimeter, just trying to see what's going on.
and Doctor, as the current on our session, what are you doing at this moment?
Professor Jackson, how are you making this?
This is unbelievable. I'm at a complete loss. This should not be possible. None of this should be possible.
Tell you what else. What shouldn't be possible. This is offending your sense of geology at this exact moment. But what really shouldn't be possible is the large head that emerges from the water.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
There's a large reptilian head, about slightly bigger than the man, emerging from the water, some 50 feet away from your plane as it's taxiing towards the shallows.
Oh my goodness! Is that?
And as it continues to go up, the head, while it's larger than man size, the actual neck on this creature just keeps going and going and going, and rises up farther and farther out of the water. And it appears to be looking down upon the plane regarding it. As the other scientist nervously keeps snapping pictures.
yeah.
Well, folks, this appears to be a sign that we might want to disembark. But
You may, in fact,
the
you get the impression that you might actually be in Scotland.
Yeah. Whoa,
nice.
This gives the impression we don't want to get out of this plane.
All right, and that's where we're gonna cut it right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Good deal.
Nice.
If y'all don't find your Mr. Yutani, then I don't reckon that y'all are getting back to civilization, cause y'all owe me enough money that I'll sell you
I
to
think,
slave us.
The
fly
great
me
advancing
back.
is great.
I think Antoine missed the big head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
It doesn't matter to Gretchen. though.
Let's see, I missed a large head coming out of the.
On the
But
huge
here's
neck.
The best part is Gretchen, whose motivation is escape, is like she's finally escaped and she's pissed. She's gotten farther away from her husband she ever could have gotten, and she's pissed off. God, you guys owe me money.
She's a tough lady to satisfy, I tell you.
And she is. She is. That's fantastic. Well, that went completely not as expected.
Fair.
We did just bypass the entire Nazi camp. Just
Oh, that's fine. I mean,
hours
that's cool. No, I didn't. I actually know. Like, I put.
As he shreds up
It's gonna take
5
an hour.
character sheets.
Oh no. I really had very little. I had.
There's
We'll-
always
We'll
use
be
for
seeing
Nazis.
Nazis again, I'm sure.
There's always use for Nazis.
I there was a couple things that could have happened to have this fantastic escape in the car, which was great. That was worth every penny, especially with both women jumping in the cars and falling on the ground.
The car divers.
Car divers.
Well, I mean, I love the fact Betty got up there and was really. Then she's up. She could have stayed up there. But she's like, whoa. But she's so impulsive. I should have given her 2 stop for that. It was great. Just she's not satisfied to stay where she is. She's like, oh no.
Very cool.
Oh
And the
my
poor-
gosh.
The poor pacifist doctor. He's just really completely.
That was hilarious. That was
just horrified by what's going on. Now just get back in the car. Everybody just calm down.
what, you folks gotta keep shooting? What?
Yeah.
So this is one of these things that it's just like, I do want, because because Emilio is a lot like the Doctor as far as like how he gathers style,
Right.
I think. I mean, I don't know if we have the same motivation. Like, and don't tell me, Jim.
Okay.
But it is interesting that it's just like it, and this may be a matter of genre, but it's hard to assert like how do you get style to to drop a style bomb.
I mean, it's generally, yeah, it is by going by your flaw, by your motivation.
Because the
Or doing
thing
something
is,
really cool.
yeah, and that's the thing is you
know,
have to like basically
something spot on genre should earn you style too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing is like the Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant monologues, like I don't know, it's just weird because like style just it both of them, both the flaw and the I don't know.
And the motivation.
It's yeah, and the motivation, but it's for the reflections video. That's all.
Yeah, so if you play your character like your character.
But I enjoyed I enjoyed playing Emilio. I mean, did you enjoy playing the Doctor?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
actually making me think a little more outside the box because I have to start thinking of how to disarm the situation at every turn. Like every time you guys do something stupid, I've got to be thinking.
Well,
oh,
that's the whole game.
Well,
Now,
yeah.
if you look at it, rules is written. It states the flaw generally will get you in trouble. You or your mates
Right.
in trouble to earn
True.
style. So you would have to basically choose to be pacifist
Well, so
when you
if
can help.
But
if the car
Which you
hadn't
did,
flipped,
repeatedly.
if the
Yes,
car
but he
hadn't
did.
flipped,
He did,
I was
Yeah.
actually considering using my bolus to throw at Gretchen.
Oh, so now you have a stun phaser. Like your character has a stun phaser, Jim.
Ish.
Right.
and
and
you know
like-
you could
and if-
like
and
hit
if
him
that-
with an umbrella on the
Yeah.
head or something. right?
Well, so
Nazis.
yeah, so there's a couple times where I was like, I'm either gonna have to confine her, or I'm gonna have to step in front of something.
And in confining her, you would endanger her, or if you
Mhm.
stepped in front of it, you would endanger yourself, therefore earning a style point.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you go through if you're looking at it, rules is written.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
That's cool. The call managed to beat up a very tough Nazi. That guy was actually pretty a big bruiser. So
Well, somehow, you said that something about your personality is in all your characters. Now, in the two last sessions in two different campaigns, I've ended up having to fight the leader of the bad guys. And
Yeah.
I am not a violent man. I just want to make that clear.
Well, that's why we do this, so we can be what we're not in real life. Right?
Yeah, but just making sure that pattern does not establish.
And I am not a woman. And I am not a woman.
I am so disappointed in you not.
Aren't you though, Betty? It really like the pity just flows.
I am not.
You see, Antoine manned up and put on the wig.
Yeah.
You man got to get in touch with the feminine side.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. But he did that pre-session.
As he did the back rub. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
All righty, kids. Well, I gotta.
All right.
Yeah. Thank
Oh,
you so
It was a
much.
lot of fun.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording now.
Awesome, y'all.
Fantastic.
Thank you.